Hey guys, this is Anthony Romrell, and in this video, we're just going to build a simple model starting with Z-spheres and then adding a little detail with Sculptress Pro and going from there. So we're going to start a new model. We're just going to click on this Z-sphere. And what it's going to give for us is basically give us a base Z-sphere project. Okay, we're going to zoom out and get our bearings. So we're just going to start out with this base. I think it's better just to make your own rather than using something from Maxon. I think that they're just not that great. I think just build your own armatures. It's not that difficult, right? So I'm not going to build a human character in this one. I'm just going to be straight just Z spheres to OBJ to Maya O process, okay? And so we're going to get started. Once if you're drawing, so you're in edit mode and draw mode, and if there's two, it's going to draw two shapes. If you want to draw one shape, you pull it together till it turns green, and then you can pull it up. Okay, so that's draw mode. So along with draw mode, there's move mode, and there's scale mode. Okay. And there's rotate too. I don't do a whole lot of rotating, just on occasion. So I'm just going to pull this to the side to make this kind of interesting. I'm going to go back to draw. I'm going to wait till it's green. Draw another one on top. Make this one a little bit smaller. And then draw another one right on top of it. And make this one about this big. Okay. And so I'm going to make sculpt just a little mushroom out of here. So then I'm going to go to adaptive skin. I'm going to hit preview, and it's way too high res. So I'm just going to go Dynamesh down, on and off, and take my draw density down to 1. It's too low, so we'll go up to a 2. And, that's pretty good little starting point. And maybe it's too simple. I kind of understand that. That's fine. But no big deal. Okay, now I'm just going to go say make adaptive mesh. It's going to load in a new tool. And now here's the tool. I can now manipulate it. Okay, so I'm going to go to my next series of brushes. And this first brush is going to be my inflate tool. Okay, and I'm going to make my brush pretty low intensity, but pretty big in scale. And I'm going to just inflate this whole top. Okay, so there it is inflated. And I will move this. And then I'm going to hold the shift key and go to the top view and just go to the move tool. So I'm going to hit M. It's going to bring up all the brushes with M. And then we should be able to find the move tool here. I'm blind tonight. There it is, move. Okay, and I'm just going to pull and get this kind of as roundish as possible, which is not going to be totally perfect. I don't care about that, but just sort of like that. Okay, then we're going to turn it to the side and pull down on the sides on this kind of mushroomy character thing. Okay. So far we've used Z-spheres and we've used the move tool. Let's, I always try to turn on local. It's on. And then we'll hit frame and zoom back out. Okay. So anyway, so now let's just show you another tool. Let's do flatten. Okay, so I'm going to go to from move. Let's hit F, and we should have flatten. There it is. Okay, and we're just going to go around. We're just going to make our brush size just a little smaller, and too small. And okay, grab the bottom of that, and it's not exactly working the way I want, but good enough. I'm just trying to flatten this bottom area, but it's not. That's okay. So I'll go back to the move tool. So I can just hit B and then M and then V, and there's the move tool. So hitting B brings up that brush menu. Hitting M brings up any tool that has an M in it, and V is designated at the move tool area. So you just have to pay attention, right? you can see how it goes. All right, so let's hit B and F for flatten. And you can see flatten has an A next to it, so you can start to kind of memorize. So we're going to flatten that little mushroom. We'll go to BM and then V for move. Okay. Now this is where you're going to say, hey, maybe I don't want it in perspective. Maybe I want it in orthographic view. Right. So, and look, our little mushroom's starting to come along. Okay. And you know what? I don't care about the edge flow or resolution or anything like that. It's just trying to make something a little bit interesting. Okay. So if we do, though, start to care about our geometry, we could do what's called Z remesher. And what that's going to do is it's pretty much going to try to even out our geometry. So let's mess around with Z remesher just a little bit so we can just get kind of an idea of how this works. There's all sorts of different tools and all that sort of thing. Let's hit F to frame it and zoom out just a bit. Wish it didn't frame so close, but you know what? It's not Maya. It's not Blender. It's just an okay app. I mean, it's a great app for what it does, but it's so clunky. Right? Fine. Okay, so let's go to geometry because, you know, we can't find things easily. I'm going to say the iPad version of ZBrush is so much more intuitive than Mac PC. We've got Z remesher here, and let's just say we want the geometry to be double, same, or half. So let's just go with double. Let's double our geometry. And then once we've done that, we just hit Z remesher. And what it's going to do is it's going to rebuild our geometry. Okay. And there it is. There's our mushroom with the geometry rebuilt. And it doubled it, and it's going to try to even it out. Okay. Great. So, and it also is worked on the edge flow just a little bit. If I turn on this polyline, you can see it's tried our best. It's tried its best to make the geometry fairly clean, right? So then I can hold the shift key. I can go around. The draw intensity is too high. So let's just take that way down while holding the shift key. And, we could do a little smoothing on here. So that's how you smooth. Hit F, go around, smooth it out, right? Hit M again. So let's go back to that. Let's go to the bottom view now. Hit F and hit M again. B for brush, M, and then V for move. And let's just make this a little wider, maybe a little bit more roundish. Okay. And now let me show you another tool. I'm just going to show you a few more tools, and we can make this video short because we're just going to export an OBJ next, right? Maybe we'll do that in the next video. I don't know what we're doing, guys. Just goofing off. Right. So we're going to go to B for brush, and I know it's let's see, what am I looking for? I'm thinking. So we got planar pinch. Pinch was what I want. Okay, so I'm going to go around. I'm going to turn off this geometry, although it's kind of helpful, right? And I'm just going to go around and pinch that edge there. You see that gives me a nice crisper edge. Hit F to frame it. It just goes out of sync, right? The camera is so weird. And then we're going to go B, D. We'll have the down standard tool, right? And we'll just kind of do a little bit of creasing in here. Hit that shift key and smooth it out a little bit. Right? It's starting to look a little bit more interesting. And not that great with like detailing in ZBrush. I don't think ZBrush is that great for it, but that's just me. Now, I could be wrong. I know Matt Thorup would disagree. Right? Little shout out to you, Matt, if you're watching the video, which you never will, but it's fine. Right? So anyway, let's just say that we're finished with this mushroom. We like the way it's looking. We should just be able to get this thing to Maya just by hitting Go Z. So let's go to Tool. At the very top, we got Load Tool, Save Tool. So if we want to save this mushroom, we have to hit Save. Okay? And this will save it as a tool, a CLT. So let's call this a mushroom. Okay, you know what? Let's just export this. And I like to save mine as OBJ mushroom. Okay, and where is it saving it here? I'm going to keep this in my repo. So essentials, we'll put it here. We'll go to Maya, go to scenes. This way it'll go right to my repository. Not the ZBrush file itself, but the OBJ export will go there. And bam. And I'll load this. I'll start up Maya and we'll get this going. Okay, so let's import that mushroom into Maya. So I'm going to go to model import, and we just got to figure out where we put it, which is, for me, it's the Git repositories, essentials. I put it inside of my 1100, 1200 file, Maya, and scenes. And there it is, mushroom right there. We'll just open it up. And it's going to be very small because they work on different scales. And also the center point isn't right, but that's okay. We'll just fix this up. I'm going to move this to the top, hold D and V. And then I'm going to hold the X key. I middle mouse hit D and V, and we'll hit R, scale this up. And you know what? We've got something we can get going with in UV map and paint and texture this in Substance Painter. It's a pretty good starting point. Of course, we'll have to do some, things like it brings it in. It brings it in with soft normals, right? So just so you know, hardened normals, right? So there's some things to fix up, but for just a basic little sculpt and a sculpting tool and get to shapes really fast, ZBrush is great for that.